E.J. Johnson, he is the son of the former LA Laker basketball great Earvin Magic Johnson. I'm sure you guys have seen the clip or maybe heard about the clip of him when he did an interview on a podcast. Now, I did not see the entire interview, but I was able, as many of us were, able to gather and surmise pretty much how the interview went and basically what he was saying. It was pretty straightforward. And for those who did watch the interview and think that I'm a little off base and maybe he did a 180 and didn't mean what he said when he said what he said, y'all can let me know and gather me together below. But anyway, so he goes on this podcast and he talks about dating and how he, as a man, how when he is dressed to the nines in women's clothing, how he looks better than women. Thus, how he attracts more men than the average woman, because he doesn't date gay men. Even though he himself is gay, he's not attracted to gay men, but only dates straight men. Stay with me. Throughout the interview, he was basically trying to establish that he was in every possible way better than a woman, and how he has so much more to offer than a natural woman does. Now, needless to say, the interview went viral. A lot of people got upset, especially women, and naturally so, because it was very disparaging. He was basically exalting himself over natural women. He himself was saying that because of who he was and how he dresses and who he dates and whatever, so forth and so on, he, E.J. Johnson, Earvin Johnson III, son of Magic Johnson, is better at being a woman than a natural woman. Now, we all know that that's not true, okay? Women are women and men are men, okay? So when I heard this, I honestly, I didn't get upset, because the truth is the truth. You know what I mean? A man will never be a woman will never be a man biologically, and therefore E.J. Johnson, what he said holds no weight. It really doesn't. What I am more concerned about is what I saw in those small clips, which was the hurt that he was trying to cover up with all of his boastings and braggadociousness and all of this posturing. How he was trying to present himself as being better, not just than women, but just better than anybody else, which to me, because I've mentioned this before, to me, those who brag a lot about themselves and are narcissistic and conceited, those who really have to speak loudly about themselves in those types of, or in that type of manner, they really do not have the confidence that they boast about. Really, it's the opposite, because they don't feel worthy, because they don't feel appreciated, or they don't feel special. They have to basically convince others, including themselves, that they are special. You know what I mean? It sort of works in reverse. So, in my opinion, I believe that that's what he's doing. What I understand, he's always spoken that way. So recently, he's lost a lot of weight. But when we first were introduced to him, I think it was through, a little TV show or whatever that he did. He talked about rich kids or whatever it was. He was heavyset. But he's always had that same type of arrogance, that same type of way of talking where it's him against the world. I'm the better of the best and you're less than. It came through on the show. I mean, EJ was definitely EJ, and he's still EJ, even more so now that he's lost weight. But again, I'm not so much concerned with what he says about women and how he tries to put us down, but rather how he doesn't seem to really value himself and his self-worth, and know that he himself is enough just as he is. He doesn't have to put anybody else down or stand on anybody else's shoulders, women or anybody else, to feel important. Like I said, those who are very conceited and always bragging about themselves, they're trying to convince you to see something in them that they don't even see in themselves. And that's what I feel that this interview basically revealed, that he is very insecure, that he is not happy in being who he is. It appears to me that even though he brags about loving himself and loving that he's this and that and so forth and so on, that he really doesn't love himself enough, I'll say it like that, and love himself in the right way to realize, again, that he is enough and that he needs to accept who he is in order to truly be happy with who he is. Does that make any sense? Him denying the truth of who he is, what he was made to be, as well as his value. If he were to truly accept his value, he doesn't have to compare himself to anybody else. He doesn't have to compare himself to anybody else to make himself look better. He's good enough just standing on his own, because that's how God made him. He made him special, just like God made me special. And I don't have to compare myself to anybody else, because I am one of a kind and who I was created to be. Like I said, to me, it seems like he doesn't love himself, let alone like himself enough, not all of himself. And so he has created this character. He's created this facade, his bigger than life character, hiding himself behind the fancy clothes and the makeup and the haircut and the high heels and the flamboyance. I believe this is all a cover-up. I believe that he is really trying to escape. Because I said hide from, but I think he's really trying to, it's escapism. He's trying to escape from the person that he knows that he is, but he's not comfortable with, that he's not happy with. Because again, he doesn't feel like he is worthy to show up as himself. So he has to show up as somebody else, or a caricature of someone that is bigger and better. In my opinion, he comes across as that he feels inadequate as just Earvin Johnson III. He must be EJ. He must be this bombastic, colorful character that every time, he walks into the room, he must be seen. He must be heard. You will notice me. And it's really indicative of someone who doesn't feel seen and heard, and therefore they must shout it, they must show it, they must show off so that they can feel seen and heard. Most of us know you can't escape yourself. Every time you turn around, there you are. So this whole facade, this whole cosplay of being a woman or portraying a woman or whatever it is not sustainable. It's like the little pig that built his house out of straw. Reality, which is the big bad wolf, reality is going to come along and blow that house down. There's no way to sustain it because it's not built on truth. You cannot escape the truth. You can try and deny it. You can try and argue with it, but only a fool tries to argue with the truth, because at the end of the day, truth always wins. It always comes through. And I feel like the battle that's going on inside of him, the wrestling that he's experiencing, I feel like he is taking the battle from his inside to the outside. He feels like he has to prove himself and go word for word with people. Meanwhile, women, we're not thinking about EJ. We're not thinking about EJ, but for some reason, it's like he has to best himself against women. Almost trying to pick a fight. Pick a fight with someone that's not only not interested, but not even your equal. EJ is not equal to a woman. There's no connection there outside of him being born of a woman. There's nothing else connected to EJ as far as womanhood. There is not. So the battle, again, is not against women. The battle is within EJ. The battle is his and his alone. But again, it's like he's trying to prove something. And he knew what he was saying when he was on the podcast. He knew what he was saying, and the podcaster knew what he was saying. And, this was a viral moment. It may not have been orchestrated in the beginning, but when he said what he said, he knew that it was going to spark something. Knew that it was going to spark something and some type of strong response. And I'm sure he welcomed it. I'm sure he welcomed every retort, every response, every rant, and every retweeted clip. And that way he could come back bigger and bolder and be seen. This helps his campaign because that pent up energy has to go somewhere. At least that's how I see it. Okay. So again, I'm not upset with EJ. I'm not upset about what he said, because it doesn't hurt my feelings because it's not valid. To me, it's like someone declaring that the moon is made of cheese. We already know that it's not. That's not true. So him declaring what he declared on the podcast and how he only dates straight men, and we all know that if a man dates a man, even a man in women's clothing, then he is at least bisexual. Okay, but he is not straight. So we know that's not true. So I was not upset. Believe it or not, I was more concerned with his mental state, with his mental well-being, and the fact that he does not come across, even though he may kiki, he may smile, he may wink and try and, put on all the airs. He does not come across to me as a happy person. He does not. He comes across to me as someone who is still struggling to find happiness behind the velvet curtain that he has put up of all this fabulousness. Is a little boy who has yet to figure out who he is. And at the end of the day, to know that he is more than enough. He's more than enough, just as he is. Not because I said so, but because God said so. But until he realizes that for himself, he's always going to be in this battle. So I pray for EJ. I pray that he finds the happiness that only God can give him, or a relationship with God. Okay, a relationship with God can give him. That's where my mind goes when I think about the interview. He needs to surrender. He needs to surrender all to God. And only then will he find the peace and the love and the joy that he is in search of. Because he's not going to find it in all this foolishness and folly and falsehoods. The truth is the truth. And like they say, the truth will set you free. So until EJ acknowledges the truth, he's not going to find that happiness. The truth of knowing who you are, who made you, and the value thereof, and the inherent value thereof. What God made, he made good. And what God made was more than enough. You don't have to mess around with that. He is more than enough. And with that, we are going to put a button on it.